Hello everyone and welcome back to Build with AI series. What if I told you that you can bring the massive power of DeepSeek V4 directly into your local PC without melting your GPU? We are going to dive into this brand new 9 billion parameter model which has been trained to think exactly like DeepSeek V4 and we are going to run it locally. So let's dive in. We usually think that to get top tier AI logic, we need to rent space on massive GPU servers or pay highly monthly API fees. But this brilliant release from the open source community completely shatters the hardware myth. This new model from the Q1 3.5 family has basically inherited the brain of a much larger frontier AI system of DeepSeek V4. And the best part is that it has multiple versions, so it is specifically engineered to run on consumer hardware easily that you probably already own right now. We are going to look at how exactly this AI was built, how it was compressed, and the math behind running it. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly how this model works, and we are going to use this model as our reasoning engine for our SEO keyword strategist project, which combined with the IBM's Granite 4.1 model will give you a professional markdown report for the SEO analysis. So let's look at the actual core of the model. It is built on an architecture that holds 9 billion parameters in the neural network model. You can think of parameters as digital brain connectors. The more connections you have, the smarter will be your AI brain, but it will be heavier to run on your hardware. In the AI world right now, 9 billion parameters are considered a sweet spot for the local AI models. It is large enough to be an efficient reasoning model, so it can understand complex human instructions, but has a total size of around 3 to 5 GB in the smallest bit quantizations, so it doesn't instantly max out on a consumer hardware GPU. The baseline model is the Q1 3.59 billion, which is already known for being incredibly efficient and very fast. But baseline model is just a foundation. It needs to be trained on how to behave and solve a particular problem. But instead of training it from scratch, which will cost millions of dollars, the creators used a highly advanced training technique to make it faster and cheaper. They essentially used the DeepSeek V4 as the teacher model and sent the 9 billion framework of Q1 to school, which acts like a secret sauce to its high performance. And this process is known in industry as distillation. You can think of distillation as a master professor passing down only the best insights and knowledge in a concentrated form to a bright young student. Here, the giant DeepSeek V4, which requires an entire data center to run, is the master teacher for our Q1 3.5 model. So how did they actually teach it? They used a highly curated dataset of 8,000 specific samples. But the researchers didn't just feed the direct question answers to the model, because that would not make the model much very smart. Instead, they fed it the exact reasoning process and exact step-by-step problem-solving paths that the bigger teacher model took. So the student is forced to learn the learning procedures of the teacher model and how it arrived at the final answer, and not just the final answers themselves. This transfers the high-density logic of a massive model into our lightweight model file. The result is an AI that can punch above its weight class, thinking like a giant while being extremely tiny in space. And because of this specific distillation process, this model behaves very differently to the standard chatbots that you are used to use. Most standard AIs just try to directly predict the final answers, which often leads to mistake on hard math or coding problems. But this model uses a specific technique called COT, which is chain thought process. So whenever you ask it a difficult question, it doesn't just guess the answer right away. It physically pauses, think about the exact strategy to arrive at the final answer, and then it generates its thinking steps, walks through the logic, double-check its own math, and plan the entire code or the mathematical solution before writing the final response. This is exactly how we human beings solve complex problems. We brainstorm on a scratchpad paper before writing the final essay. By using this chain of thought process, this 9 billion parameter model avoids getting confused on complex multi-step problems. It drastically improves its performance on the reasoning and coding tasks, making it feel like a much larger premium AI. But to actually run this smart logic directly on your local hardware, it has to be packaged in a very specific way. This brings us to the file format. If you look at the model name, it is written GGUF. So what does this GGUF mean? Historically, the larger AI models only ran on the expensive GPU hardwares, leaving regular computer systems out of luck. But GGUF was designed specifically for efficient local inference on a consumer-grade hardware. It's just a flexible container that allows your AI to run on your local CPU if your graphic card isn't powerful enough. It can dynamically share the workload between your CPU and GPU using whatever resources that you have available. This breaks the dependency on massive video hardware and open the door for anyone to build AI agents at home. But this does not just enable the sharing between CPU and GPU, it also does something else that is extremely important, which is file compression. These file compression techniques is what make these models fit into these 3 to 5 GB model files, which you can download in minutes easily. The technical term for these exact compressions is quantization, which is a technique where we compress the AI model parameters. An uncompressed AI model generally stores its weight with extreme mathematical precision, usually taking up about 16 bit of memory per number, and that makes the file massive. If you look at the 16-bit quantization, the same model is taking 18 GB of space. But in quantization process, we round these numbers off and reduce the precisions to 8-bit, 4-bit, or even 2-bit. It is very similar to reducing the quality of a high-dimensional photo, so you can upload or email it, and it will look a little bit less sharp, but the core image will still be there. So by reducing the quantization from 16-bit to 2-bit, the file size reduces dramatically, going from 18 GB to just 3.8 GB. So you see, when you halve the precision, the file size also reduces by exactly half. This This extreme weight reduction is what makes these models run very fast on even a consumer hardware. But before you download it, you need to know what kind of specifications you need in your computer or laptop so you can run it smoothly. One of the biggest hurdles for beginners is just downloading the model and directly using it, which crashes their system immediately. But I'll give you a very simple formula so you can calculate how much of a system RAM or VRAM you will be needing to run any local model. First, you are going to take the number of parameters in billions, which is 9 for this model. Second, you need to multiply that by the bit quantization. For example, if you're picking the 2-bit quantization, you will multiply it by 2. Third, you take that result and divide it by 8. So if I write it down, I'll multiply 9 by 2 and divide by 8. So this gives you 2.25, and then you need to add 1 to 2 GB to the final number for a context overhead, because the model will be needing some space to hold your actual conversations. So for a rough approximation, let's say if I add 1.5, I'll get 3.75, which means I need a 3.7 GB of a graphic card to run this model smoothly on my PC. Now if I show you my system configurations, I'm using an i7 processor with 16 GB of RAM and an NVIDIA GeForce 1650 Ti which has 4 GB of VRAM available. So for me, this satisfies the criteria that I need to run this model and build any AI project on top of it. So now that I know that I'll be able to run this model on my hardware, I'm going to talk about the primary strengths that this model holds in the real world projects. This model is specifically designed for structural reasoning because it is inheriting the DeepSeek V4's deep logical capabilities. It also supports something called flash inference, which means the time taken between you pressing enter on any given query and the model generating text is extremely small for this model. This speed is crucial if you want to build local AI models that work on background while you do your work or leave your computer idle. And this model also supports the tool augmented workflows, so you can build the AI agents that use tools to write files, read files, execute command, or write complete AI scripts directly. And it is trained on DeepSeek V4, which is already very good at the tool execution and reasoning capabilities. It will be extremely good at following strict formatting rule for these agentic tools. If you tell it to exactly output in a JSON format, it will use a chain of thought process, it will pause, think, and structure the data flawlessly. So without further delay, now we are going to set up this model in our project. First, you are going to need Ollama for running our local LLM models. To download Ollama, just type ollama.com/download on your new tab, and you can download the installer according to your platform. For building my project, I'm going to use Google Antigravity. If you don't have it installed, you can go to antigravity.google/download and download the simple installer for your platform. Once you open Google Antigravity, you just need to go to File and Open Folder and create a new folder for your project. Next, you can copy all the files that I put in the GitHub link in description and pin comments and get started on the project quickly. So for the technical stack of this project, I'm going to use Python for my coding language, Ollama as our local AI engine. The first local model that I'm going to use is the Q1 3.5 DeepSeek distilled version that I have already shown, and the second model to generate the final markdown report would be the IBM's latest Granite 4.1 model. I've already covered this model in detail and how to set up in my earlier video, so you can check out this video on my channel or click on the tie icon on your screen. Now to install this model, first you need to go to ollama.com, then search Granite 4.1 here. Then according to your system configurations and the formula that I had just described, you can download any of these parameter version. For me, I'm just going to use the 3 billion parameter version, so I'll just copy it, go to the anti-gravity terminal and paste it here. So while the model is installing, I'm going to create a custom model file just to get faster responses from the Granite model. I'm just going to give it the instruction to do not use the thinking tags so that it can disable the reasoning engine and give us the faster responses directly. To register this model file, you just need to copy this query, which will use your model file underscore Granite and create a new model called Granite Direct. I'll just open the terminal and paste the query here. So this will register the new model in Ollama. You can also check it by going to Ollama list here. So I'll see that the Granite Direct latest is registered here. Next, we are going to download the Q1 3.5 distillation model. For that, just go to the Hugging Face page again. Then I select any version that you will be capable on your hardware. For me, I need the 2-bit version, so I'll just go to the Files tab and select the model which has Q2 written on it. To download the model file, you just need to click on this button and the entire 3.8 GB GGUF file will be downloaded. For me, I've already downloaded it and kept it in my this same project folder here. Now to register this model in Ollama, I'm going to use this command. So now we need to register the GGUF file that we have kept here into our Ollama. So for that, I'm again going to create a custom model file, and I'm just going to write that you should take the GGUF file as the base model. So once you have this model file made, you just need to copy this command, which is Ollama create local DeepSeek from the model file. So I'll just copy it, go to the terminal and paste it again here. And now if I check Ollama list again, I'll see that my local DeepSeek model is also registered here. Next, for our code logic, I built this main.py file which has our entire Python code for the project. First, I'm going to define all the configurations for our local models. So any query that you are going to give to our AI model will go to this Ollama local URL, and then Ollama will use your local models to give the response back. The Q1 model that I'm going to use is this HF4 model, which is registered already, and the Granite model that I'm going to use is Granite Direct latest. Then I have a sample input file which has some SEO data for a dummy website. So here I have some dummy URLs, their exact keywords, how much is the traffic, so how much are the users actually searching for these keywords, and what is the category of this website and keywords. So in my main file, I'm going to give the location for this sample SEO data, and from this SEO data, I want a report generated which will be saved as SEO report.md. Now to send the queries and get the responses, I'm going to create a general function which is generate Ollama, which will take the model name, prompt, and some system prompt which has some instructions that we want, and a disable thinking tag just to get faster responses. So I'm going to create a payload that we'll be sending to the Ollama local URL. The payload is just like a package that you are going to send, and then you are going to get the response back. So in the package we'll have the model name, the prompt, any system instructions that we are giving. Streaming parameter we are keeping it as false because we don't want the live responses back, which will include all the thinking process as well. And finally the temperature is kept as 0.2 just to get some direct responses. If you keep the temperature close to 0, you will get a definitive response, and if you keep it closer to 1, you'll get varied responses which you may need if you're, let's say, making a poem. Then if disable thinking is given as true, we are going to set the payload option of thinking as false. Then we are going to encode this data in a JSON format using json.dumps library, and using the request library I'm going to send this response to Ollama API URL and give our data in the argument. Then I'm going to try sending this request and getting the response back using response.read, and if we encounter any kind of error, we are just going to print that error communicating with Ollama with this error, and we are going to exit from the file using system.exit command. So these try except statements are generally added just to not halt the script and get very long error messages, but instead we are going to print some formatted responses so we know where exactly the issue is and why the script failed. Then we are going to define the main function which will run the entire logic. So first I'm going to check if the data file that I'm giving, which is the sample SEO data, is there or not. If I'm not able to find that file, I'm just going to print that error data file not found. I'm going to use OS library which can check if a file exists on a given path or not. So you just need to use os.path.exist and give your file location. So if this statement is given as false, this if not false will become true, and we'll enter this block and print that the error data file not found and exit the system prompt again. Then we'll print that error the data file is not found and we'll exit from the system. Next we are going to open the data file and read all the SEO data from it using f.read. Then we are going to move to stage 1, which will cluster the search intents that are there in our keyword data and identify possible cannibalization, which just means that if same keyword is getting posted in multiple pages, Google will get confused like which page to show for that keyword, and that in turn harm our SEO. So I'm going to ask the Q1 DeepSeek V4 model that you are an expert SEO strategist, analyze the provided keyword and URL data, cluster the search intents, identify the overlapping keywords across different URLs, which is called keyword cannibalization, and provide a strategic recommendation to resolve the conflicts. Then just to get faster responses, I'm asking that do not output any think tags or reasoning steps, only output the final analysis. So this will be the system prompt which clarifies the role and all the instructions that the model has to follow. And then in the main prompt, I'm going to give the SEO data, ask it to analyze the data and find the cannibalization issues. And then in the generate Ollama function, I'm going to give the model the Q1 prompt, and in the system prompt, I'm going to give this Q1 system prompt. And again, just to get faster responses, I'm disabling the thinking mode. If you want better accuracy, you can enable it, but because it will take a lot of time for this quick demo, I'm going to disable it. Then stage 2 would be to take the output from stage 1 from the Q1 model and generate a final documentation report using the Granite model. So here the system prompt would be that you are an expert technical writer and AI assistant. Your task is to take the raw SEO analysis and format it into a precise, highly professional markdown report. Use headers, bullet points, tables, and bold text for emphasis, and do not alter the core findings of the earlier model. Again, the main prompt will take the Q1 analysis that we have done from stage 1, ask it to please format this into a professional markdown document, and in the generate Ollama, I'm going to give the model the system prompt and the actual user query in this Granite prompt. Finally, I'm going to take the final report, open the output file location as a write mode, and using f.write, I'm going to write the final report into the MD file. Once everything is done correctly, I'm just going to print that success and report is saved to this output file. And whenever you call this Python file in your terminal, the main function will be called. Now is the time for live demo. I'm going to open the terminal and type python main.py here. This will call the main Python file and will call the main function that we have defined. So I'm going to press enter. So now the whole python main.py file has run and the final report is successfully saved to the SEO report.md file. And the file is saved in your same local folder, so I can directly open it and check the final report. So it has given a properly formatted markdown report. We can see here the title is there, then subtitles, paragraph summaries, then the critical cannibalizations are given in bullet points. Some strategic recommendations are also given. Let's say for Nike running shoes, both of these target pages have cannibalization issue, and the recommendation is that this review article should target the Nike Pegasus review and remove any buy modifiers from its meta titles and headers. So it has listed down all the keywords that have these cannibalization issues, and finally it has given the next step also to execute the recommended redirects, adjust the title tags, headings, and meta descriptions, and ensure all blog post links to their respective commercial category pages. So everything is reported nicely in proper format, so you can directly modify your blog pages for maximum SEO boost. So both of our models were able to work perfectly and give us this final professional document that we needed. Next, you can also use these kind of project in different use cases. For example, in e-commerce auditing, you can directly check what are the different product pages and category pages that are competing for the same exact commercial terms, which are diluting the ranking power of our main category. Then you can identify the older blog posts that are reducing the traffic from the newer updated guides and either merge or redirect them. Then for the client reporting also, you can directly generate the white labeled audit reports for the new clients. For the site migration, let's say if you are moving from some older URLs to new URLs, you can use this tool tool to ensure that the new URLs aren't accidentally mapping to the keywords that are already being held by existing pages. Then you can do localization based strategies as well, so you can ensure that the UK version of a page isn't accidentally cannibalizing keywords for a US version. Next, on top of this project, you can also add some future feature additions. Like instead of just parsing the text file, you can also add some tools from Python which can parse the CSV or Excel files directly. You can also give direct access to your blogs. That you can also add a third agent that has actual access to your blog entries, so it can automatically fix the cannibalization issues that it is finding. Then instead of manually passing on the raw text, you can add some web scraping tools which crawl your live URLs and check the actual headings and the metadata tags. Then you can track the actual tokens that are being used by the local models that we are using, which is Q1 and Granite, so you know how much resources both of these are consuming for each project run. Finally, using Python libraries like Radio, you can build a CLI dashboard which can give you a visualization of the clustering process in real time. I put the entire codes and the readme file in the GitHub link in the description and pinned comments, so grab the codes right now, build your own SEO agent, and follow the channel for more such AI builds, updates, and workflows.